Well, there's really no other way to start this because I did the main intro, later on. So you guys are going to hear that. But welcome back to the podcast. Welcome everybody. We just got done with an amazing episode, like super
intro,
insightful.
But I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, we're going to go with it because I said so.
Yeah, no. So we actually had a longtime friend of mine, Brittany Bowman. She is a professional concert photographer and all around great person as well on the show today. And man, she was good fun. It was so good to catch up. She won the award at the end as well for longest time talked to post show.
Yeah,
look at that.
Exactly.
And that's
not
a big
something
deal.
That's a big deal.
No,
it's
we
deal.
don't
For anybody
scoff at things like that.
Never, dude. For anybody who's curious as to who Britt Bowman is, first off, stick around for the episode and find out. But right now, she is the photographer for a band called Volbeat. And if you don't know who Volbeat is, you're living under a rock. So figure that out.
Not even the good kind of rock.
Not a good kind of, yeah.
Let's get into it.
Welcome back to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go, a podcast about life in the music industry. And today it's going to be a podcast about life behind the scenes in the music industry. Today we have professional concert photographer Britt Bowman. Am I saying that right, or is it Bowman? Is it Bowman?
Bowman. Yep,
Bowman.
like
I said it right the
man.
first time. See, if I just didn't question myself, things would be so much easier. Britt, how's it going today?
Really good. How are you?
Doing great. Now, you just said before... why do I have this radio voice going on right now? I don't even care.
I don't know. Radio voice is good.
It's
People
nice.
like
It is good.
It's like ASMR for our listeners. I hope.
It's super professional sounding.
Thank you. I try to sound and pose as professional as possible, even though the reality is I'm living in a basement.
and you drink leftover
and I drink leftover mango fiesta tea from Taco Bell the night before. I have my shit together.
We all do.
Now, before we recorded or hit the recording button for this podcast, you said that you had just gotten home. Is that from a tour? Is that
yeah? I was just out with Volbeat. That's the band that I tour with most of the time, and we were out doing a co-headline with Ghost and this band called Twin Temple, and we were out for about 7 weeks.
Dang!
Wow,
man, that's a long
7
time.
weeks.
Yeah, it's a long tour.
I think the longest I went on was 2 months, and I tell you, the last week of the 2 months was the longest part of the entire tour.
Yep, because you see the finish line, and you're just like
so
you're
close.
toasted.
Oh, man, I was like ornery. Like I was like, don't talk to me. I'm pissed. Just naturally
sick of you and your faces.
No, it's not like I was like mad at any of my bandmates. I was just like, I
you just didn't like them anymore.
Well, I was just mad I was there. Like I could be anywhere else than sitting in the driver's seat of this van, but I'm not.
Nope, you're still in that van, and you got 7 more days.
Oh man, the harsh reality. Guys, be thankful that, well, not thankful, just understand that there's a lot of things you won't have to deal with because Warped Tour is over. You won't have to deal with the driving.
Oh, it's going to come back. I feel it.
Oh, I hope it does. I hope it does. All I'm saying is like, I think our listeners know this, but like the test of a true band is like making it through Warped Tour. Like fucking.
We'll get to that, Bear. We'll talk a little Warped Tour. So, Britt, you photographed some of the world's most famous, let's just generalize it, rock and roll musicians, from Metallica to Genesis. How did you get your start in concert photography?
Well, that actually, I've only been doing that for almost 6 years now. Okay. I was doing other stuff for a lot longer. So the other stuff led me to about 6 years ago. And the managers of Volbeat, I had been working with them before with a band called Bare Hands, doing merch actually. And they called me and they're like, we need a fill-in for 2 weeks. and they need to do like production style stuff, some dressing room wardrobe things, and also we're going to give you a really nice camera and you're going to take pictures. And I was like, are you kidding? And they're like, no, you're pretty good with an iPhone. We think you'll be able to do just fine for what we need. So I rented a camera, and I was already on a tour with this girl named Rachel Platten. She's like a pop singer.
Okay.
And I spent 2 weeks practicing with a Canon, trying to figure out how to use it properly. I had taken pictures with like a Canon Rebel years ago in college, so I kind of had an idea, but not really.
Right.
So yeah, that tested that out, and then went on tour with Volbeat for 2 weeks, doing a million different jobs, and they ended up liking
usually
me.
The way it goes.
Yeah, yep. They're like, here's 20 hats, wear them, you'll do great. So I did that. They liked me, and they're like, so we're going to Europe for, I think it was almost 3 months coming up, and we'd like you to come with us. So you're going to keep doing what you're doing. So I went to Europe with them, and it's been almost 6 years now.
Wow.
Man. So do you mostly just work exclusively with Volbeat, or?
No, but they're
work?
the band that I tour with the most, because they just keep me busy. So, and I really like working with them. So it's fun to stay with them, you know?
Yeah.
Right. And they definitely do keep you busy.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing you on social media all the time, just out with Volbeat. So they are a working band.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things we're going to say is it's a little known fact that most people don't know yet, because this is the first time you've been on the podcast and the first time that we're talking to you about, for most people. But you and I have known each other for a very long time.
A very long time.
You used to help me book shows. We also had a stint where we worked together in 2012, where you sold products from your company called Feather Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
On our website called Stuff Bomb.
Yep.
So we're both also out on Warped Tour that year as well. You're with Invisible Children and Skate for Cancer. Have you always...
Hold on, that didn't actually happen.
That didn't happen.
No, I was supposed to do that, and I ended up canceling to go and stay on tour with a different band. So I didn't end up doing that Warped Tour. No, I was on Warped Tour, I think maybe a year before that, for like 2 weeks with, do you remember Joseph Farrell?
It sounds familiar. Yeah.
He was like in a Des Moines band.
Okay.
And I was out with them. No, I was supposed to do that Warped Tour, but I didn't end up getting to go.
That is one of the last things I actually have of like in correspondence is that we were talking about that. So I was like, oh, I wonder if you, so have you done many Warped Tours at all then?
No, I went as a fan a ton, but that one year I did like, I know, right? I only did those 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, but 2 weeks on Warped Tour is about a month of normal tour.
Yeah. Yeah, truly.
So with going on with what I was saying, then have you always felt the pull of tour life, or do you feel, or was it more something you kind of fell into? You've been touring for ever now.
Yeah, it's been like 11 years, I think. I always wanted to, but it seemed like a pipe dream. Like it didn't seem like something that was attainable. But then eventually it did start to happen. And then once the snowball went down the hill, it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, because you've done kind of all like hats in the tour life, other than, you know, being a bass player. Or have you been a bass player?
No.
She had to think about that one for a hot second. That's fair.
Yeah, nope, not real bass.
Not real bass?
Pretend play the strings, but I mean, am I making a song now?
That sounds like my life.
It sounds like my life, since you know the band's moved me on to bass.
Downgraded.
Yeah.
Downgraded.
I'm just kidding. Bassists and drummers are the backbones of the band, so you better shut the hell up.
They truly are.
They are, especially if like that is their goal. I mean, there's tons of bands that are out there that are like, well, I play bass, but are you a bass player?
Are you a bassist?
There's a difference.
Or do you play bass?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to know is I mean, Pat and I don't know, seasoned might not be the right word, but Pat and I have done tours and nothing
been
nothing
around.
of like, yeah, we've gotten our feet wet or whatever, but the things that are different in the way that Pat and I have done it versus someone like you in your position at the moment is we are oftentimes the face of the band. Like we're oftentimes up front. We're the band.
Mhm.
What is it like for anybody out there listening who wants to be the photographer? Because we have like photographer friends all over the US who are doing fantastic. So for them who are listening to this podcast, what is tour life like realistically for someone like you in your position?
Well, I mean, it's great. It's wonderful. But as you guys know, you sacrifice a lot. You miss a lot of home stuff, but to get to go out and do what you love, if that's like your goal, it's one of the most incredible things.
Right.
It can take you so many places you didn't realize that you'd ever get to go do, you know?
Yeah. And I'd argue even too that, your additional member of the band is your photographer / merch person / gear person. Like they are just as much a part of a tour or a band than, the vocalist is. And if not, honestly, even more, because as everyone may be taking their time, like resting in a bus or trying to sleep in their van or driving, whatever, just kind of, minding their own business. The photographer is editing photos, making sure the posts on social media are all like done and correct, and having the correspondence between whoever needs to know and what the venues are later or where these photos are going to. It's like there's almost like a nonstop trail of work that you have to do longer than say going up and playing an hour and a half set and coming back down.
Yep, exactly. You're kind of tired all day, every day, but it's kind of nonstop work depending on what your exact position on tour is. Because, sometimes depending on your job, you might get like little breaks here and there, or you might be working from 7 a.m. until 3 o'clock at night.
Yeah. So what would you say? So okay, let me rephrase this. That was riveting audio for our listeners out there. Just
I liked it.
How do I say this? So you said that you basically kind of jumped into this 6 years ago. 6 years kind of seems like a long time, but in this industry, as anybody who's been a part of a band or the music industry can attest to, 6 years is nothing. It is nothing. You know what I mean?
It flies by.
So what would you say have been some of the biggest obstacles for you to overcome, just not only as a professional photographer? You said you did like slung merch, doing gear, like any kind, like basically like a jack of all trades. What was one of the biggest obstacles that you had to overcome to get to where you are?
Oh dear.
we get a little deep sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, I could ask you dumb questions too. That's fine.
No, I like these. I just have to think about it for a second. Because I mean, it could be so many different things. I mean, getting started was probably the biggest thing, right? And getting that snowball rolling down the hill. I definitely say that I've been lucky, and I've made a lot of good friends along the way that have helped me tremendously. But I mean, I think just getting people to take me seriously and getting to stay in the business, going from like one band to the next, finding the next job. There were so many times in the last like 11 years where it was like waiting like 6 months for a tour to pop up, like that was pretty brutal, and then like going home and working like a home job and stuff when all you want to do is be out and gone.
So I don't know if this is like a known term, but post-tour depression.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm not the only
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's because
I'm not the only one depressed.
You go from this like massive high.
The way I described it to somebody who hadn't done music, hadn't done this, was I'm like, you get the smallest taste of what you've wanted to do for your entire life and for the rest of your life, and then it's taken away from you and it's entirely out of your control.
Yep.
How hard does that hit you?
It's a lot easier now because I think I'm so seasoned into it maybe, but I still get it a little bit in different ways. A long time ago, it used to be I'd be depressed that I wasn't around tons of people all the time, and having like partying and like
It's
having
a
fun
way different
and
life.
yeah, absolutely. Just like going back to like quiet slow down time was like really difficult, and it was really depressing for like a solid maybe month, I feel like.
And
But
sometimes
now
it's fucking boring.
absolutely, yeah, you get so bored. It's like you're used to having so much adrenaline and it's just all gone.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like I'm thankful to like have the time off, and
Right.
get to be home. But it
Mhm.
hits me in weird ways. Like I think because I'm so used to living out of a suitcase, when I come home, I throw everything away. Because I'm like, I have too much stuff. It's too overwhelming. I gotta go donate some stuff to Goodwill or something. Like that's where my depression hits. It's like I get overwhelmed with being home.
Wow.
That's
like I never thought about that one. Like that one's odd.
It is. It's a very odd thing, but I've noticed it. It happens almost every time at the end of a tour, and I have to kind of stop myself. I'm like, in a month, you're gonna wish you still had that stuff. Please stop. Go away. Walk away. Leave it alone.
Just
mine
relax.
mine would
Yep.
be like after we had just written and released a new song and went on tour to support the new music or whatever, and I get home and I'm like, the only way to justify going on another tour is to write another good song. And I like pick up a guitar and I got nothing. I'm so, and just the fact that I like and I put myself in that position. I put myself under that pressure. It's not good. Don't do it to anybody who's listening. I'd put it on myself and then I just go, since I couldn't come up with the song, I'm worthless. Well,
I think a lot of
better give up.
people experience it that way too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of musicians, they're like, I gotta go do the album now.
Yeah. Well, now I got to make something even better.
It's
Yep.
just the odd beast that comes along with getting to do what you want for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
And
You're always
Yeah.
trying to better what you did before. Just keep going up.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't happen that way, and it, like if you're in the band and you make a song and it's worse, then it's just like, I'm the worst person ever.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
and the
Apparently
pressure to
nobody
do better
likes me
next
now.
time is just that much worse.
Yeah. It's like
Oh,
a
man.
roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
It's a tough gig. Music industry in all aspects of it is difficult.
And
it's
you know
all
what?
it's all tough.
Let's take
Yeah.
a moment and talk about that for just a second. Like, guys, if this is something that is going to weigh on your mental health harder than it should, take a step back and think. Like, hell, Brittany could be the first to tell you that like this is not for everybody. You have to know your limits. Do not like sacrifices need to be made in order for you to do anything in life, in order for you to get anywhere that you want to be. Sacrificing time with friends, family, loved ones, hobbies, whatever it is. Sacrifice is like the key, I would say. But in that, if you're going to push yourself to a breaking point, that needs to be checked. Be careful, know your limits, know what you're trying to do, know your goals, like, and surround yourself with people who are going to give a shit, people who care about you, and people, most importantly, people who can call you out and check you, because it is a slippery slope to go down a dark mental path just to get to what you think success is. So just be careful. That's all I gotta say. Keep doing what you love.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Like fucking keep going, man. Like
Yeah.
but like this is what part of the reason why we do the podcast is we're not just sitting here going, hey, we're gonna glorify going on tour. We're gonna glorify being in a band. It's like there's truth to that because it's what Pat and I and you, like, it's what we can connect to. It's how we can make these relationships the way we make them. But we're not going to sit here and sugarcoat the fact that this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done.
Right. It's not as glamorous as people make it out to be.
Exactly. And some people never make the snowball. And I think that was something I wanted to touch on here is like, one, first off, you're not entitled to shit. Okay. Nobody owes you anything. If you want something from somebody or from like, if you want like a fan base, go out and take it, go out and get it, go out and work for it. Nobody owes you their attention or their time. But if you see yourself like, because personally, I don't think I ever hit that snowball. I think there was a time where I could have. And looking back on it, it's like if I had just seized that moment, I felt like that could have been my snowball.
Yeah.
But now you don't just get one, like you just keep looking for it, keep trying. But
Mhm.
nobody gives
Yeah.
you shit. But that is at least in my perspective, and probably some of our listeners, that is the hardest place I think to get to, is that snowball. So when you got there, what was your experience like as you, I'm going to use the word coasted, as you coasted along that ride?
Well, I mean, it was slow at first. Like I said, that there were times where there'd be, like 6 months with nothing, 7
Right.
months with nothing. So, going back in and out of that depression and missing what you want to do and that kind of thing. But once it kind of started to pick up, then it was like 1,000 miles an hour. It felt like it was never ending. And that's kind of the last 6 years. It's kind of been like that, where it's just been like kind of like never ending feeling.
Yeah. So do me a favor.
Mhm.
Before we continue on with this podcast, I want you to give me a pitch, right?
Uh-oh.
Give me the pitch of why I want to be in a band, or like on tour or whatever it is. Give it to me in the exact opposite. Don't glorify it. Like, tell me the honest to God truth of why you want to do what you want and what it takes to get there.
Don't glorify it, but tell you the truth. Wait, how do you?
Just go for it. Like, just whatever you think like your pitch is. I don't know where he's going with
so like
this.
for example,
but-
oh, you want to go on tour to play in front of thousands of people? It's amazing. You get to meet new people. Where it's in reality, it's like, oh man, I'm going on tour and I'm hitting like McDonald's. Like,
You like
often and
McDonald's?
shit. Yeah,
Go
like,
on tour.
do you like gas stations that are 24 hours? Like,
Oh, fuck yeah. Have you ever been to a
give
Sheetz and felt like, fuck yeah, I gotta stop at all of them?
actually, yes.
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 Like, absolutely. Sheetz is prime.
Sheetz is the shit, but
Thank you. Sheetz is the
Obviously.
shit.
what's the other one that people really love?
Wawa.
Just to, like,
Wawa?
thank you. I always compare the two.
As you should. They're entirely, opposites and enemies for life.
That is like the prime level of touring on the East Coast, is getting to those two gas stations.
So I guess to
Yeah.
rephrase,
That is the tour goal. Get to a
Yeah.
gas station.
yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
Lord, that's my next tattoo.
That's when I knew I made it. The first time I made it to a Wawa, I was like, this is real. I'm
Well,
touring.
and it's
Oh, man, if
funny
that's not
as
the
it
truth,
is.
though.
As funny as it is, those are some of the highlights that you get on tour. Like,
Absolutely.
I remember I just did Unsilent Night Fest down in Texas, and I was like, holy shit, I can get fucking in and out. 'Cause we don't,
Yeah.
I know we're not lucky like you.
Whataburger.
You know,
Hey, I grew up in Nebraska. I've only lived
I
in
know.
LA for 6 years.
I'm so
I
sorry.
know. I know.
To both
But
of those
so,
statements,
like-
actually.
So now that like we could go down to Dallas, there's an in and out down there, and I was like, best part of tour.
Yeah, best part. Best part. I met
Best
1,000 people. Don't care.
Oh.
Don't care. In and out. It's the
In and
little
out,
things
baby.
that keep you sane.
So
Yeah.
I guess in order to I'm going to
Yeah.
rephrase my previous question.
Yep.
What is the reality of tour for someone like you in your position?
The reality of tour is you miss a lot of things that when you get older and the longer you do it, it kind of becomes a little bit more sad that you miss these things, like birthdays. Like, you'd think that it doesn't matter, but you do get bummed out when you're like, I actually wish I was there for my friend's wedding, or I wish that I could have been there for my dad's birthday last year. That's a reality. You miss out on time with your partner, if you have a partner, family, friends. Also, just like regular life things, like you like a band and you want to see them. Well, you're not touring with them or in their genre, so good luck.
Oh man, if that's not the truth.
Yeah,
True.
I've missed so many concerts. But I mean, it's still a great lifestyle. But
I was gonna say, now on top of that, what makes it worth it?
what makes it worth it? The friends you make, the places you get to go. I mean, I get to travel all over the place and get paid to do it, which is incredible.
Mhm.
I've been to so many different countries and seen so many things. It broadens the way you see things and the world, which is really cool. It puts a new perspective on things, which I really appreciate.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
and
know.
it really does. And so one thing that I know Pat likes to do this too, but one thing we like to do is when we're on tour, when we feel ourselves getting caught up in the moment or like
Hmm.
complacent, I guess, not caught up in the moment, complacent to what we're doing. Hell, my childhood dream of actually being on the road, I'm doing it. I'm living it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've liked to do is like
Go to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
when
No,
those
sorry.
when we catch ourselves slipping into that complacency, we'll find a spot or like pull over to the side of the road or just have a conversation like, dude, like we're in fucking Texas right now.
Yeah.
Like, and just kind of like we like to pull ourselves out. One of mine was I stopped on the side of the road in the middle of West Virginia in like the mountains and just like stared over a creek for like 20 minutes.
Mhm.
What is one of your ways that you pull yourself out of that moment to just realize I'm actually like doing what I love, like that self check?
Right. Something that just makes you really appreciative.
Mm-hmm.
I've really noticed it, and this is like it's happened several times where it'll just be like during a show. There'll just be a moment where like if I was having a crappy day, because like to be honest, it's not super glamorous. Backstage can be cold and dark and scary and boring.
Yeah.
And you're tired and you miss home and all this stuff. And then there's like a moment when the show is happening and it just kind of clicks and you're just like, how lucky am I that I get to be here doing this and I get to see how happy it makes all of these people.
Right.
Like it's a really humbling moment.
Do you
That's awesome.
do you have, before we actually move on to like our next question here, I had one that popped into my head. Do you ever, like, when you're sitting there shooting and stuff, just stop and just like just forget and just sit and watch that concert for a bit?
Totally. Yeah, because if I don't, I'm gonna end up taking like 3,000 or 4,000 photos, and then I'll be up all night. So I have to, and I've been trying to be better about just stopping and paying attention. But there are like little moments where certain songs, it's fun to just sit and watch and see like the crowd reactions and like pick people. Like you pick people out and you just see like how happy it makes them, and you just kind of watch them and the show at the same time. It's kind of weird, but
yeah, that's
awesome.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled questions.
Yeah. Yep.
What are your top 5 current musical artists right now that you're into?
Oh God.
If
This
it's
is
too
like,
hard, top 3.
Oh, it's like the world's hardest question. I feel like I haven't had a favorite band in years. And I don't know if it's because touring did that to me or
Oh, you're indifferent now.
I know
I'm just more thinking like, just what are your like top 5 that you're just listening to? Like,
right.
They don't have to be your favorite of all time, but what is like something that you're stuck on at the moment?
What's your recently played on Spotify?
Well, I just came back from Joshua Tree, so we were listening to Bon Iver out there because it's just pretty desert music, I guess.
Fair.
I love Phoenix. I can't ever stop listening to them. I don't get sick of them. Let's see, who else have I been liking lately? God, I feel like I don't even have time to listen to music. I catch myself listening to Phoebe Bridgers a lot. I think it's because my Google Home, I don't know, it knows that I like it, so it just plays it a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Phoebe Bridgers is great.
Thank you, she's great. And that band, I don't know if I'm gonna say it right, Krungbin?
I don't know.
So.
Krungbin. It's a really hard word to say, but it's fun. It's kind of like dancey disco music.
That's like right up Bear's alley. He'll have to check it out.
You have to look them up. The name is spelled funny, but yeah. Pretty great.
All right, so we're gonna go to a quick break here, but before we go to the break, we got one more question for you.
All right.
Tell our listeners who may be interested in starting a career in concert photography, one thing that you know now that you wish you had known when you first started out, what would it be?
Don't be so hard on yourself, because you can put a lot of pressure on yourself to get things done and to have them be perfect and to live up to the expectations of the artist that you're working for, etc. Don't put yourself down if you can't get to what you think your idea of perfect is, I guess. because that could eat you alive.
Absolutely.
100%. That's a good
Mhm.
one. All right. And with that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Did you guys know that we have a playlist on Spotify for up-and-coming new bands? Well, we do. It's called the Unsigned Pop Punk Playlist. We update it bi-weekly for up-and-coming bands. There's 45 new tracks on there every other week. Go give it a follow on Spotify. Save it, share it. We want to help you discover your favorite new band and also discover new bands in your area that you can go out and see for as little as $5 for a show. So give the playlist a follow on Spotify at Unsigned Pop Punk. It's as easy as that.
And we're back with Britt Bowman. Britt, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is awesome. I loved like all of your answers, by the way. Just
Thank you.
so you're aware. And honestly, I believe that like people listening love them too. And it's a lot of insight that we don't often get. Like we get insight from bands, we get insight from managers, record labels, like whatever's all different perspectives. And this one, I believe that you're our first photographer we've had on.
Mhm.
So this is and just being in bands, we've like have photographer friends and
Mhm.
who like, again, if you're not hiring a photographer in your band, quit it.
Yeah, just do
Hire
it. You need them.
Just do it.
Yeah, your mom's not going to do it for you.
No. And social media is the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the reality of life.
Absolutely. So this has
Yeah.
been really, really awesome for me. I'm sure for Pat, but this has been awesome. So I'm really thankful that you're even here. But
But
with that, we're done with the serious shit.
okay.
We're just done. This next segment is called the obscure questions segment.
Okay.
Okay. So
The name of it.
I'm going to start this one out, okay? And
Okay.
this is going to be a visual one. I will do my best to describe it for our
For
audio.
all of you
only.
audio listeners,
Yeah.
follow us
So-
on YouTube.
Yeah, there's that too. So, what is one major irrational fear that you have? So as an example, for me, when somebody, typically one of my children, grabs me by the index finger with one hand and then a pinky finger with their other hand,
Like this. Just
I
grip it like this.
immediately feel like they're going to rip my hand in half.
Oh my gosh.
I get
Right?
absolutely terrified, and I like, let me go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
What is
no.
what's an irrational fear that you have?
Mhm. That one day the band is going to need me to go on stage and pretend play.
So to
And-
play bass.
Yeah, bass. I've had like reoccurring nightmares of them being like, "We need you," and they give me drumsticks or a guitar, and they're like, "We have you muted," and then I get up there and I go clink, clink, clink because I'm not muted. And it's like an actual like terrifying fear that I have.
But let's be honest, out of anybody, that would be your reality. Like,
Yeah.
it is.
You've
It is
watched
not
you've watched us
impossible.
enough. You know
Yeah.
the set, Britt. You got this.
You got this.
God,
You're
oh
the
my God.
only one we can trust right now.
I make jokes with them all the time, being like, "Oh, you should just let me sing on this song. I got this." And then I'll squeal some terrible sound.
Yeah.
But I'm not serious. But God, I hope they don't make me do it one day.
I hope
they do, and I hope I can see it. I hope I can
Yeah.
be there for it. It's a special treat for myself.
Mhm. Hey guys, 1 second. I didn't realize that my power wasn't plugged in and my computer is dying.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, this is going to be a great moment for all you listeners and viewers out there to tell you about our Patreon. You can go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon
she's
right
back,
now
she's
because you should. That's all. That's it. You just should.
Bear. What's your irrational fear?
www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. My irrational fear is being stabbed with a sword. Now, I don't know if you've known this before. I have been stabbed. I've been stabbed with a knife. It has happened.
That's scary.
It,
But why
well,
is a sword?
but
though?
because
it's, like,
specifically a
longer?
sword that's gonna go through me. You know what I mean? Like
So you don't go to Comic-Con,
no.
no, where people will dress up and have like fake swords.
Well, fake swords are fine. Like which is odd because
I think it would be. I think it would definitely hurt worse to actually be stabbed with a fake sword because it's dull.
Why a spoon, cousin? Why not an axe?
Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more.
Well, that, but like most swords at Comic-Con,
Right?
hold on. Now that I'm thinking about this is making it
Oh, no.
worse.
Am I
Are you
scaring
getting-
you?
are
I'm
getting
sorry.
really
I
anxious
just
right now?
wanted to see Marvel shit, and I'm surrounded by fake swords.
He's
Someone's
just standing in
dressed
a
like-
corner.
Yeah. Someone's dressed like Link from Zelda, and you're just like running the opposite way.
Oh,
It's a foam sword, but nope.
Meanwhile, I'm dressed as a pot. Like, this was a bad idea.
I like it. Yeah. Like,
I don't have any
Nice.
rupees. Take my money. I don't care.
That is a great couple's costume idea.
yeah, that is really awesome.
Just be like, want to smash? No. I think I'm funny, and that's a problem. Okay, my question is,
Mhm.
it's midsummer. You're driving down the West Coast in your dream car.
Okay.
What song are you listening to?
Ooh. Ooh.
Pat, you better answer this too, by the way.
Oh shit. Well, I wasn't prepared for that.
I'm not prepared either, but I'm just gonna go with what I've been jamming a lot recently. Sussudio by Phil Collins.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's a
I'm so
banger.
glad I'm not the only one that's been on a Phil Collins kick this last week.
Oh man, so much.
It's okay. So since you threw this on me, first thing that pops into my mind, California Girls by the Beach Boys.
There you go.
Ooh, yeah.
You know,
You want to know what mine would be?
Hmm.
And I've given this.
no,
so
I don't. So don't.
I
tell
came
me.
up. Okay.
There. Okay, moving on.
I'm fully ready to move on if we're moving
No.
on. Just
Let me
No,
hear.
I want to know.
okay,
Wanna
yeah,
know.
it's like I don't know if Brittany's gonna be okay with this. Just this like sense of not knowing. It would be oh
no.
my god. There
I
it is.
swear to God, if it's Rob
Dustland
Thomas.
Dustland Fairy Tale by the Killers.
Okay.
Very nice.
I don't know it. Never heard it.
That's all right. It's off their
But-
album Day and Age.
Okay,
It's-
you'll have to show it to me later.
yeah, it's so good. So good.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Last question in this segment.
listen to it,
I know. There's no way he's gonna. He still hasn't listened to the.
Whoa. What did
Uh-oh.
you do?
He still hasn't listened to the Rob Thomas. Since we've had that episode, have you?
Oh,
You still haven't listened to him.
no, but
You know
I
what's-
will.
Go ahead.
You.
Oh, I was gonna say I was just talking to my boyfriend yesterday about Rob Thomas. We were just wondering what's he up to now.
Oh, I literally thought you were
Still-
just gonna say
Still
I
going.
was just talking to Rob Thomas.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I would. I would.
No. Oh
Yeah,
no.
just trip Bear out real
Yeah.
hard. This Bear, we got to stop talking about Rob Thomas. This is getting obscene at
I'll
this
just
point.
get. I'll just get a tattoo and forget about it.
Yeah, if you get the tattoo, I'll stop bringing him up.
Fair enough.
Wait, was that a reference to that song with Santana? Give me your heart, make it real, or forget about it. Right? Isn't that what he
Oh, let's
said?
forget about it. Yes, thank you for catching that.
Mhm, Yep.
Good
All right.
job.
If you could change the name of any fast food restaurant, which restaurant would it be, and what would the name be?
McDonald's to McDougal's because of Coming to America.
I just said that. That was
For
mine.
the same reason too.
Yes,
But-
the
okay.
exact same reason.
Like literally verbatim with
Yeah.
Really?
like it's same cadence and everything. Oh, because
Yeah.
of Coming to America.
Yeah,
Are we the same person? Are we
apparently.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Brittany,
it's our
snag his beard
it's
and
the
it's
elephant
uncanny.
that connects us.
Oh, how's it look?
Yeah.
You want mine? It's detachable. Like
best friends? Yeah, that would be crazy, like a Lego piece.
Yeah.
mine would also be McDonald's, but I'd change it to McDick's.
Ah, I like it. That's even funnier.
Like it was a running gag for a hot second with a band I was on tour with once, where it's just like anytime you'd see a McDonald's, you'd just, McDick's. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
See,
I
and
love it.
I've just always called it McDougal's my whole life.
I
Yep.
mean that makes sense. All right,
Mhm.
Pat, bring us into our last segment.
Okay, last segment. It's called rapid fire questions. Now, this
Oh,
one
no.
you're just gonna speak from the heart and shoot from the hip. All right, you not think about it, just answer.
Yep. Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I
It's
guess
not that
so.
hard. It's not
that.
scary.
It's not that difficult. Stop.
Okay.
You're making it worse on yourself.
I know. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
MTV or Fuse?
MTV.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Is a sweatshirt a sweater?
No.
Absolutely correct. Tom DeLonge or Matt Skiba?
Oh man, Tom, I think.
Guitar Hero or Rock Band?
Guitar Hero.
Last question. Newfound Glory or Simple Plan?
Newfound Glory.
Ding, 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 ding.
did
You
it.
won. You did it.
That was
That's
Oh, that
it.
wasn't as bad as I thought.
No, I see. Like that's the thing is we like to make you feel like it might be like really weird shit, but it's not. It's real
I was
basic.
expecting
question.
like Jeopardy hard.
Oh, maybe we should start.
Maybe,
doing
yeah,
that.
as I say, maybe we should up the ante just a little bit. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. What is the population of?
What is the peak of the Appalachian Mountains?
What is the average wind speed of an unladen swallow?
That was
bird?
intense. Yeah, that was real intense.
Oh, come on. That's a quote from Monty
Is it-
Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
Oh, that's fair. Honestly,
I-
literally the only good parts about that movie are quotable, and you can like YouTube the quotable parts.
Yeah.
so I bought it and I attempted to watch it once when I was young. I never finished it because I didn't like it at the time. I definitely feel like I would like it now,
You would.
but I wasn't prepared for it at the time.
Yeah, it's definitely like a mature sense of like humor.
And I was not. I
Yeah.
was dumb as shit.
I think that's how I started it and fell asleep. But it was like 10 years ago. So I think
boy.
I would enjoy it now.
Oh,
but
boy.
I think I saw it on Netflix the other day. Like I think it's available to watch
I
on
think so.
Netflix or Hulu, one of the
Really?
two.
One of the two.
I might have to stay up late one night and watch it.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
definitely.
Now you have homework, Pat.
Oh, shit.
All right. Well, Brittany, you did it. You made it through the podcast. Congratulations. Thank you again so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Before we send you off,
hmm
we want you to plug your brand, plug what you do, promote yourself. The floor is yours. Take it away.
What's next?
My Instagram is Britt_Bowman. You can see my photos on tour there, different videos from when things are happening in life. I don't know. That's pretty much all I got.
Well, you also
That's
got your website.
That's true. That's just Britt Bowman Photography. I'm pretty sure it's Britt or Brittany. It's one of the two.
One of the two.
I believe it's
Yeah.
Britt.
Yeah, it's
Britt.
probably Britt. I'm
Alright.
super prepared.
That's okay. You got any tours coming up? Anything in the future?
Yes, I'm going back out with Bull Beat, shocker, in May, and we're going to do European festival season, so that'll be fun.
Dang.
Gonna hit all the big metal festivals, Rock and
Is-
Ring, Rock and Park.
Is there
That's awesome.
anyone on those that you are particularly interested in trying to see?
Well, we are doing a festival called Pink Pop,
Okay.
and Imagine Dragons is headlining the opposite stage of ours, and my best friend works for Dan, the singer. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
hoping that we can see each other there, because that would be fun.
Isn't that
even,
crazy though? How
even
you can
better
like meet
than
up with
seeing a
friends like all
band,
the way across
seeing
the
a
country.
friend.
Yep, exactly. It's just
Like-
running into your friends at
Yeah,
festivals. That's
I
I think
remember,
the
like,
best
running in-
part.
I ran into my friend Doug in Texas randomly. I was like, "Oh, who are you with?" And he'd be like, "Oh, this people." Oh, cool. Good. Well, this is cool. You want to go grab a bite to eat?
Yeah,
And that-
it's
like-
so great.
He's from Pennsylvania. I'm from freaking Wisconsin. And we're meeting somewhere random in Texas. I think that's the
Mhm.
coolest fucking thing.
And that was
Absolutely.
always some of the fun, especially with Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's like summer camp, you know?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Well,
get to
when
see
you
all
have
my-
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, well, when you have to be away from like your family and friends at home, if you get to run into some of them along the way, that's kind of delightful.
It's a plus.
Absolutely.
All right, Brittany. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. This was an absolute blast. I really hope everyone out there listening has learned something today. I know I sure have. We got to categorize this under some sort of educational podcast on Spotify. Yeah, well, you did it. And I'm if I keep talking, I'm just going to start rambling. So,
Well, thank you for having me.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been great to catch up.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for
Cool.
tuning into another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music industry. And today, a podcast about life behind the scenes of the music industry. We will catch you guys next week.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. Thank you to those who already are. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else you stream your podcast. If you're in the position to help us grow, head over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. Let us know in the comments below who you'd like to see on the show and what other content you'd like to see. Thanks so much.